Hey, Soul Survivors. We are back with Laurie Shears in the Laurie Shears series. So, we are going to talk about some of the abuse that she's gone through with her love interests and how that relates to some of the childhood abuse that she has gone through, why sometimes we don't set the right kind of boundaries or we end up in situations, maybe stay longer than we should. So, she was strong enough to get out of the relationship. But, Laurie, can you tell us a little bit about? Let's start with the love interest that you had. You've been married. Were you married twice?
Yes.
Okay. And then you have two children by two different men.
No, I have three children by three different men.
Okay. Sorry about that. So
That's okay.
you were starting to talk about your first husband. Before we talk about him, your dating life, what was that like before you settled in with him?
I actually only had two boyfriends previous to him.
Okay. And how old were you when you got married?
Literally 2 days after my 18th birthday.
Oh, so you were a young bride.
Yes.
And how long did
I
you?
was still I was still pregnant with my first child when I got married.
Okay.
Or
And
no, hold on. 18. Nope, I was pregnant for my second child at that time.
okay. How old were you when you had your first child?
17.
17. Okay. And we talked, you've been sexually molested, abused, things like that. And a lot of times you will see younger pregnancies when that happens. Sometimes people overcompensate and become hypersexual, or they can retreat. So sometimes it is a trauma response where we feel that that's love, even though at the time it did not feel like love. Sometimes it's just the way we got attention, which is sad. So,
Well, see, when I found out I was pregnant, it was after the rape.
okay, was it a product of the rape?
Actually, no, it was my high school sweetheart and a product of me being overdrunk because I didn't think I could have sex with him without being drunk after what happened to me.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes people do cope that way. How are you with alcohol now? Do you struggle?
I did for a long time there, but now I can drink alcohol here and there. And yes, I get my craving, but I'm here at home.
So you're being
And
safe about it.
yes, I'm not the idiot I used to be drinking and driving and all that. So
And so with your husband, how long was it good and when did it start to go bad? And tell us a little bit about that story.
actually, it was never really good.
I hear a lot of,
I I got with him because he was giving me attention because the high school sweetheart dumped me, didn't want to have anything to do with me because he thought I was trying to destroy his life plans. Um, which I didn't. I stayed away from him. I didn't go after him for anything. It was the state of Michigan that did.
or
But
what, did he have some criminal stuff going on?
no, he was planning on going to MSU.
Michigan State
Um,
University.
yes, because he was doing the, I can never say the word, so I'll say farming.
Agricultural or horticultural?
Yeah,
Okay.
both.
And so why did he think you were trying to disrupt his plans?
Because we are both still in high school and he was about to graduate. He had another year.
Was it because of the pregnancy that he thought you were
Yes.
trying? Okay. So he
Yeah.
bailed, took off on you because he thought you were trying to ruin his life. So you
Which,
meet this
see,
guy.
yeah,
How long were you with your first husband dating before you got married?
it was off and on because when I first met him, I was going to adult ed. Um, and I met his sisters. They became friends, especially one of them. So I went over to their parents' house where and met their brother that way, and that's we became friends because he was dating someone else. But after a while, he started paying attention to me, and because I had such low self esteem, and it was really bad. Um, I said yes because I was lonely, and he was, like I said, paying attention to me. He
Right.
was giving me what I thought was love.
How did you feel about him though? Did you feel that you were in love with him?
I felt like I was
Looking back?
until, yeah, looking back now, I mean, the way he was treating me, I was almost like a prisoner every time I was around him. I wasn't allowed to go out and do anything. I couldn't read a book
Oh, you couldn't
because
even
I
read
was
a book?
screwing the men in the book.
Really?
Yes, I couldn't watch TV because I'd be screwing every man on the TV.
Yeah, a
When
lot of
a
times they'll make
man
up
walks,
stories and the stories don't even make sense.
right, and any time a man walked in the room, no matter his age, unless he was a child, I had to do this and be quiet.
Now, is that something he told you to do or something you kind of felt like you needed to do?
Oh, I was told I had to do that because otherwise I'd get beat. But no one believed me that he was beating at me,
So,
especially his family.
how long did that go on for? And what were the beatings over? What were his triggers?
It could be over anything. Me saying no to him about doing something, me spilling a little bit of something, me dropping an ash. I mean, it depended on his mood.
And was there a big age difference? Were you guys the same age?
No, just a year apart.
Okay. And you were how old again when you got married? 18?
18.
18. And you stayed with him for a year. You were married on paper by 5 years. And what caused you to finally have enough of it?
Um, After all the beatings and fighting and everything we went through, um, I he ended up taking us out of state. He got in trouble in the other state, came back, and someone took someone I trusted took my child to the hospital and found out she had been molested.
So did your daughter say anything, or why did this person take your daughter?
Suspicion.
Suspicion. And was she watching your daughter, or did she take her out of your house? How did she get your daughter?
A sneak planned trip to go shopping. I
Okay.
found out later.
Did you see any red flags that maybe this was going on?
Oh yeah, I seen him, but there was nothing I could do about it because I was afraid. Like I said, he threatened to kill both of us if I ever called the cops on him for anything.
Yeah, sometimes it gets scary and it's tricky, you know, but in hindsight, do you wish you would have reported it?
Oh yeah, yeah. In
Yeah.
hindsight, I wish I had reported everything he had done to me, my daughter, you know.
Yeah. And sometimes,
But
when we stay in those situations, it gets really scary. I have a friend that was shot by her husband and killed, just recently. They're still in the court process, but, you
I'm
know,
sorry for your loss.
yeah, she was really young too. Just had a baby, 8-month-old baby. But there are ways to handle it. So if anybody out here that's viewing that is struggling with something like that, I'd like to help because it is
I would help too. I mean, if you are struggling, if you're going through this, anybody, please call out for help. Don't let it continue because it can destroy your mind. It did mine. It destroyed my emotions.
and I really appreciate you're here to share your story. It is healing. I'd like to encourage other people to do that as well. Do some podcasts because it can really destroy your life. And Laurie, I appreciate you have been completely open and honest with us, and I know it's been hard on you. It's affected your relationship with your daughter, correct?
Yeah. Oh, everything's my life the way it was and the way I became until I finally, like I said, got help. I wasn't, like I said in the last one, I wasn't a great mom. I know that. I know I did a lot of wrong things, but I always tried to do best by my kids. So,
Yeah, sometimes we think we're protecting them when we get threatened that way, but with the proper planning, there are ways. There's women's shelters, there's sometimes we have resources or ways to get away, but it is the most dangerous time when you leave somebody who is toxic. So it does get really scary. But just like my friend, she stayed too long. And sometimes, we can't stay in that situation, even with those threats, that you have to find the out. And I know you stayed, you saw some red flags, and sometimes we go into a protective mode where we're like, this isn't happening, even though we know it is, because we're scared, don't know how to handle it. And we're kind of in denial. We don't want to believe it. This is our husband, you know?
yes,
Um, so when they did that rape kit, and they found evidence, right, they did a rape kit
yes.
and
Well, they checked her and everything else. They said she wasn't raped. She had been touched.
okay.
They
And
found the markings, whatever they were looking for.
okay. And there was no criminal trial or anything, no prosecution?
Well, when he found out, I don't know how he found out. Oh, yes. He and his cousin went up the road from where we were living because we were living with my mother at the time. They went fishing. They happened to notice the police in the neighborhood because the police did come to me, to the house. And I had a gut feeling why we were there because my kids weren't there and he wasn't there.
Right.
So when they asked to search the house, I said, go for it. And they didn't find them, but the officers were really kind to me and they go, we know you're afraid. We need you to speak up so we can help you. I said, the last I knew, him and his cousin were going up the road to go fishing.
Did they find him?
They found his cousin. I don't know how the ex-husband escaped or anything, but they looked so much alike. They thought they had him, and they asked me to verify who they had in the vehicle. And I looked and I said, well, that's not him. That's his cousin.
And so did they just drop it? They never
Oh, no, they kept looking, but they couldn't find him.
Was anything filed through the courts?
I did everything I could, but I was also very scared. My mom was doing what she could to help me. She got help keep me and the kids hidden for a while.
So you left, you had a lot of abuse. Was there drugs and alcohol with him?
Oh, he did whatever he wanted. Yeah.
Okay. Did that affect you financially?
I'm not sure about any of the drugs really, but I know he drank.
Okay. And was he a different man when he was drinking?
He was the same person, drunk or sober. Mean.
Oh, so he was mean either way. So that's
Yes.
that's ingrained in him. So you finally got divorced, and how long after that first year? You're still married for 4 more years, but how long before you were with somebody else?
No, to be honest with you, sweetheart, the day the divorce was finalized, that's when I became pregnant with my third child because I went out and celebrated. Ended up getting drunk, walking home, had sex with the man,
Did
and
you
became
did you
pregnant
know
that night.
him? Did you know him?
No, I just met him at the bar. I just wanted to celebrate. And I was told because of the abuse I went through, there's probably a chance I wouldn't have any more kids. So I wasn't careful.
Okay. Yeah, there is always a chance. There's always a chance.
And
And
unfortunately, to this day, my poor child doesn't have her father's name on her birth certificate. She has the ex husband's name on it.
was he responsible for child support then?
Oh, no, he's never paid. Never. But neither have I with my son because it was the ex-husband's mother that has my raised my son.
Now, does he know that that's not his actual father?
Oh, my son knows that is his father.
Who is the second child, the daughter or the son, or daughter or the
The
son?
son. The
Okay.
son is my second child. That is the first ex-husband's child.
Oh, so
My
I keep forgetting you had three. That's why it's not adding up for me. Sorry. So I keep forgetting. You were blessed. Um, so your third child, does your third child know that that's
Oh
not
yeah, yeah. I've never lied to my children about anything. If
that?
they asked, even if it was hard for me to say, I was honest.
And did that child have problems with that? Like a longing or confusion, resentment?
No,
No.
resentment, yes.
What kind of resentment?
It was different kinds because of the different things that went on. Because I mean, as my kids started asking me questions, the more they thought about it. I mean, because I did try hard to get back and having a better life so I can get my children back.
Right.
But back then I had issues. I still had the messed up teeth, the messed up eyes. No one wanted to hire me, so I had an issue getting a good job. So I couldn't really take care of my kids the way I need to. That's why I ended up in relationship from relationship, trying to do better with my children, especially the youngest. Because, like I said, I gave my two older children up when I had that issue. And they were raised from then on by their parental grandmothers.
Okay. So you had the third child with you?
Yes,
Okay.
I
And
tried my best with her.
the father, did the father ever know or see that child?
Oh, yes, yes. Because he was told that I was pregnant. And I found out when I told him that he was a married man.
No.
Because I told him right in front of his stepchildren. Because he picked me up with them in the car.
Oh,
And I even had the paper from the doctor proving I was pregnant. So
and did you continue seeing him or did you stop seeing him?
I was trying to see him, but his wife was trying to work it out. And during that time, I was so upset because I thought for sure he was going to do me because I was giving him his first and only child.
Right.
Because when he married this lady, she had already had three children and had everything removed. So,
Okay. And in hindsight, is he even still with her or do you think that affected his marriage?
oh, no, no, no. I know he's not with her because they did get a divorce. Him and I lived together for a while when she was a newborn because we did a lot of traveling up. We were together roughly 3 years
And how was that
because,
relationship?
oh, it was rough because he was a downright alcoholic. I
So
mean, from the moment he woke up to the time he went to bed.
so sometimes we want to be with someone that we overlook certain things, but there's a pattern of the alcohol. Did you
Yeah.
encourage, for fun to have a nice time? Did you guys, who encouraged who to drink or were you both drinkers? How did that go?
Oh, we were both drinkers. That's how we met at the bar.
That's true. And how often was he drunk?
After we got together, it was a daily thing, like I said.
And
If
how
he was working, he wouldn't drink on the job, but as soon as he was done working, he was drinking.
and how did the alcohol affect him?
After a while, he just simply got drunk and lazy. You know, passing out on the couch, pissing himself, stuff like that.
Yeah. And what made you end that relationship?
I had gotten to the point where I was tired of him leaving our child wide awake while he's passed out drunk when I didn't come home until 3, 4 in the morning from working at a gas station deli.
Okay, so you're out there working and he's just drunk, not taking care of the child. And did he work at all?
He did side jobs to get his beer money.
Okay. And it's interesting the patterns that you see. There are some people with whether it's mental illness or struggles where they can function, they can be high functioning, but a lot of times, there are red flags that we overlook. And sometimes job hopping, especially when you're older and trying to support a family, or at a certain, responsible age, to where you're given some grace while you're going through, your early years, but eventually it's like we gotta take care of ourselves. So sometimes that's showing where the priorities are. The priorities were for the home, just enough for the alcohol, not considering the family. And so you left that one. And when did you get married again?
Um, wow, in 2001, actually, just before 9/11, we got married in August that year.
Okay, and then
Or was it right around that time?
so what was that relationship? How long did you guys date? Was there any red flags?
Actually, we started off as friends. I met him through one of my ex-sister-in-laws. We're good friends. He became my best friend. After a while, we just started hanging out quite often, and then it just happened we become a couple.
And so you dated about how long before you got married?
Oh God, a year or two?
Okay. And then you were married for how long?
Uh, I left him within a year.
Okay. So I see a pattern going on that these aren't working. But was it what caused you to leave that relationship?
I did not want to be treated like a woman from the Bible.
Okay, and when you say that, do you mean like owned or property, or what do you mean a woman from the Bible?
All of it.
All of it?
He was encouraged to tell me to stay home, take care of things, and I didn't need anything for myself.
Did he want you to work?
Oh, no. Well, I was working, and when he decided to let me stop working and he take care of everything,
Yeah, sometimes
he
men
was
will
a
do
truck
that.
driver. He was a truck driver on the road all the time. He made sure the bills were paid, but would only leave me like $20 a week for food,
Is-
personal items, you know, anything. I was trying to find a job because we were living in a small town at that time and nowhere for me to work really.
Okay. So that's part of that isolation, financial abuse, where they're trying to control you, they're trying to seclude you, so you're not meeting other guys, or they don't have to worry about if they would feel jealous. They just take away that situation, but they don't realize that they're taking away somebody's livelihood, experiences in life, ability for friends. And did you start to feel isolated?
Yeah, and I ended up getting closer to somebody else, like his best friend.
Okay.
And I ended up having a relationship with her for a year.
Her?
You heard me.
Okay. And how was that? Was that your first time with a woman?
Yeah.
Okay. Was
It
that
was
just,
good at first, and then she just turned into like any other man.
was she more the masculine one?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did that relationship last?
A year, if that.
Okay. And you were still married at the time?
I got divorced. I left the state. He divorced me, so
And did you have any tendencies for women before that?
only her for some reason.
Sometimes it's that connection, I think, that people like feel the love, and sometimes that turns physical. Do you think that's what it was?
I think so. Because I think she was feeling the same way, because she had been in relationships that didn't work out. So, and I knew a couple of them.
And how are you now today? If you were to start a new relationship, would you only want a man? Would you only want a woman, or either or?
No, just the man.
Just a man? Okay,
Yeah.
I've seen that several times where a woman ends up with a woman for a while, but then they sometimes go back, and it was just that one particular woman, not necessarily women. So did your family know about that? Did that cause any problems with the family? Were they supportive of that relationship?
Um, I mean, I lost myself here.
And you got quiet for a second. I don't know if your phone got.
Set was dying, and I had to turn on the regular speaker.
Oh, okay. So let's see if we can hear you. But I was asking, was your family supportive of the lesbian relationship?
Oh, it was my choice.
Okay.
I
So,
mean, they dealt with it. They weren't happy on who I chose.
okay. But they realized it was your decision. So unfortunately, your sound is pretty quiet. So we're gonna have to do another podcast with the Laurie Shears
Oh, shoot.
series. But I have a snow day again tomorrow if you want to do another one tomorrow. It's our little cliffhanger. Does that sound all right tomorrow?
Works for me.
All right. Thanks so much for being open, honest. Keep chugging along. We're going to talk more about those red flags and the healing journey, because the pain's still there and we're going to get through it. Thanks so much, Laurie. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
You
Bye-bye.
too.